You figure out how you can help. Dawn's on me, I don't have a hard close here. I kind of got you there. It seems like it ought to be, we need to write a check tonight. Well, I think it does underscore the key role that everybody in this room has. Stay tuned. You'll hear more about it from the development staff and the development committee as we go forward. Endowment is the key to a strong future. The college is strong now. It's an envy to many of its peers, but to keep this amazing growth, we really do need to improve our endowment. It's a lot of money. It's going to require a lot of time, work, and effort on all of our parts, but it will happen. It'll happen because of the people in this room, because of the inspiration of the people who have gone before us, who have sit in these chairs in previous years, and because of all the prayer and love and mission that we experience each day at Lindsey Wilson College. So, thank you again. Thank you for all you do for our students, and God bless you as we go through this evening's program. Well, it's now my privilege to turn the podium over to two incredible Lindsey Wilson students who are going to speak to us this evening, and we're going to begin with Kelly.
At Lindsey Wilson College, I've been immensely blessed in many ways that I never could have imagined. I've received the opportunity to spend my time engaging in multiple areas of study, to assist with the wrestling team, to travel to various parts of the country that I'd never been to before, and to serve the community outside this campus. I've also had the opportunity to form incredible relationships with fellow students, professors, and additional faculty members. In my almost 2 years spent at Lindsey, I've seen and experienced more than most other 19-year-olds. And to be given the task of adequately describing that to you, well, it's almost impossible. I could spend hours describing to you how much I value this college and how appreciative I am to be a Lindsey Wilson student. Unfortunately, I just don't have that kind of time this evening, unless you're willing to be here until midnight. But I understand that's not what you guys have in mind for this evening, so I'll do my best to sum everything up. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." I'll repeat this statement one more time, and as I do, reflect on the uplifting power and beautiful wisdom that lies within the statement. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. It's incredible, isn't it? Encouraging, elegant, legendary even. This statement sums up what I consider to be the most valuable aspect of being a student here. From the time I first became interested in attending Lindsey Wilson to today, the faculty and professors have done nothing but encourage me to dream. Beginning with my first conversation with my incredibly enthusiastic admissions counselor, Miss Gina Collins, to my first meeting with Amy Thompson-Wells, to sitting in class listening to Dr. Terry Smith's lecture, I've been told and been done to do nothing but dream. I've been consistently reassured to follow my heart's desire and to make my dreams come true. Not only have the amazing individuals I mentioned encouraged me greatly, but I've had the great fortune of growing closer to a small group of individuals outside of this campus, part of this community. They've provided me with overwhelming motivation and unfailing support. My time spent here partaking in the greatest blessing of all, serving as a Bonner leader, I've met some of the most amazing individuals in the entire world. I've been able to serve in Ms. Garman's special needs classroom at Adair County Elementary School for the past 2 years. The students in her classroom may receive the label of children, but let that skew your way of thinking when considering their individual potential. They are incredible people with an innocence that emphasizes the courage and strength they each possess. Despite their limitations, each of these students has a raw exuberance for life. Through spending time with these students, I've discovered a level of determination I was completely unaware of. They illustrate an inner drive that I've yet to master. They also demonstrate unconditional love in a way that's pure and fearless. The happiness that spreads across their faces as I walk into the classroom a couple of times a week never ceases to humble me. Having the opportunity to serve others and to be humbled consistently has taught me that I should never take anything for granted. A lesson I learned once again with the passing of my father this past August. Not only did I endure the unexpected loss of the most important man in my life, but I was faced with the reality that with the immediate changes, I might not have the means to remain a Lindsey Wilson student. As my family was in the midst of shock and grief, I was faced with also potentially losing the most important place in my life. It was the incredible sincerity and compassion of many individuals that are part of this college that contributed to my now current status as a Lindsey student. When this scary reality that I might be leaving was made known on this campus, many began to do all that they could to make sure I remained as a student. The generosity and diligent effort of individuals such as my admissions counselor, the Bonner program coordinators, the head wrestling coach, and Mr. and Mrs. President Lunke are responsible for the fact that I am and will remain until I graduate a proud student of Lindsey Wilson College. I can't even express the amount of gratitude, thankfulness, and love that I feel for all that played a role in helping me within my absolute greatest time of need. I have shared with you just two of the many influential aspects of my life here at Lindsey. There are many stories of opportunity, service, and humility that I could share with you, but as I said before, we just don't have the time. I've been showered with nothing but encouragement and love since I began attending this college, and because of this, the greatest goal of my future is to set foot into the real world, doing all that I can to touch the lives of others in the same way that mine has been with those associated with this college. Because of Lindsey Wilson, I have been equipped with the tools necessary to further the kingdom of God and to make my dreams come true.
Kelly Simonis is a sophomore in the Human Services and Counseling major from Versailles, Kentucky. Kelly, that was fabulous. Thank you so much. Stephen Swecker is a biology senior from Maryville, Tennessee. Stephen?
Dean Schmidt, and where's Vice President Adams? Your tip on pretending the audience is naked, it's not working.
It's not working, huh?
No. I'll admit it, I'm not much of a reader. I have all these great ambitions to read all types of books, but I seemingly never get around to it. There's a few like The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain or Lois Lowry's The Giver that are sitting on my desk that I read once back in elementary school days, but I've never been around to reread them. Despite this, there's one book that I always find myself coming back to. It's one of those books that is so good that I always find myself needing to revisit it at least once a year in a way to sort of recenter myself. It's a book that changed my life, or at least my perspective on life. The book's called A Million Miles in 1,000 Years, and it's written by Donald Miller. And Don, he's written a lot of books that you may have heard of or even read. Blue Like Jazz, Through Painted Deserts, or Searching for God Knows What. If you've read his stuff, you most likely know how great it is. He really puts a fresh perspective on standard ideas, perspectives that sometimes open your eyes. In his book, Don talks about story, but what is different about this is that he relates the fundamental idea of a simple story to real life. He says that the same principles that screenwriters and novelists use to make stories exciting also apply to real life. A good story, Don says, has a lead character or a protagonist that things happen to. The protagonist has ambition, wants, or desires. There must be conflict or hard times. And finally, there must be resolution. In essence, we all want our lives to be a page turner. When the credits roll, we want the audience to feel moved and changed from what they just saw. So what I want to tell you all today is how my own story is better because of Lindsey Wilson College. I came here in fall of 2007 having absolutely no idea of all that I had yet to learn and experience over the next 4 years. I could have never grasped the weight of what I was about to learn. I could receive a diploma from a number of other schools that said the same thing on that piece of paper, but it's the experiences that I've had here, the people that I've met, the friendships that I've formed that make this place truly special. So let me clue you onto what I'm talking about. Professors. I'll be honest, it's a love-hate relationship with some of them. I mean, the last thing I wanted to do on a weekend was figure out organic chemistry esterification reactions or memorize the entire process of glycolysis for biochem. But it's professors like Dr. Clausen, who I think she got Teacher of the Year award today, and Dr. Hilker that have made me stretch. They made me reach for understanding. I can go into their offices, even today or yesterday, and we can just talk about what's going on in life, or how I can be a better cyclist, or about Dr. Hilker's latest floating dessert tray that he built for his jacuzzi. They genuinely care about me as an individual, as they do with so many other students, but at the same time, they push us to strive for more, to reach our full potential. There's a quote that comes to mind: "Study thoughtfully, but write boldly." I can attest that our professors teach us more than what's in the syllabus. The cycling team has taken me so many places. I've been to beautiful Bend, Oregon, and anyone who knows me can attest to how much I love that place. I've weathered out an ice storm in Kansas City in December with the team. Then we raced the national championships the next day. I remember Dean Schmidt making breakfast for us all at mountain bike nationals in North Carolina. And I remember our teammates pouring everything they had into a single bike race. Lessons can be learned from these experiences. Leadership, teamwork, and selflessness are all things I've learned from my peers and coaches on the trips. I can't tell you how great it is to go on a bike ride on the roads of Adair County and regularly run into Vice President Adams and Dean Schmidt and Assistant Dean McAllister. What other college has that? I'll run into him. Schmitty will usually make fun of me for at least 5 minutes. Then we'll talk just about what's been going on in life, off the record. And I'm currently placing bets on how long it takes the three of them to get President Lucky out in some spandex on the roads. I think it can happen. All right. Donald Miller says that when we're telling stories with our lives, we're setting the compasses of people around us. He says that the stories are the most powerful ways to teach others. And I've learned so much about how to live my story based off the lives of people here at Lindsey like Bill and Elise. Culture is something that both of them obviously try to instill in us. As a Begley Scholar, I've been privileged enough to travel to New Orleans, Chicago, San Francisco, and New York with the Luckies. I've seen the sunset over the Pacific in Muir Woods, while just shortly before I saw Elise try to jump on Bill's back for a romantic portrait that ended up with both of them lying face down in the shallow waters. I've got pictures of that. I've taken a group up the Empire State Building when Elise faithfully trusted me with President Lucky's credit card to pay for the excursion. And I must say it was a pretty cool feeling signing William T. Lucky on the credit card receipt. And I even got to study abroad in Florence, Italy this past summer. Naturally, I took my bike, so I rode my bike all throughout Tuscany, even from Florence to Siena and back in one day. 97 miles and 6 hours later, I remember rolling back into the outskirts of Florence. Vineyards and olive trees surrounded the winding Tuscan roads, and watching the sunset over Florence in the distant Alps was more than reward for my efforts, and just a reminder of how blessed I am to serve such a great God.